Today we're going to talk about the sexiest thing in trading. It's not profits, it's actually risk. And if you are an experienced trader or have been learning trading for some time, you know the most important thing is risk, because if you don't have any chips to play, then the game is over. And that's what separates the professional traders from the gamblers. And today I have Sourabh Sisodiya over here with me, and we're going to discuss about systematic trading and actually unsystematic risk. If you think about it, a trader has a lot of things in control. It has a system, he understands backtesting, he knows his win-loss ratio, etc., etc. But there's some risks he really can't predict, like a black swan event, like COVID ho gaya, there's a Russia war happening, there could even be illiquidity risk. So how does a trader actually plan for or accommodate for these events where you can't really predict when they happen? Obviously, there must be some way. And Sourabh is a Bachelor's of Engineering in Information Technology from University of Bombay and an MBA from SP Jain. But most importantly, he's the co-founder of Quantify Capital, has done an awesome course on LearnUp, and he's a system trader. Hi Sourabh, what's up, man?
Hi Pratik. Firstly, thank you for inviting me for this show. And I've been watching your shows, like the one with Nitin Kamath, the one with Abhi. The stories that were there were really insightful. Like in fact, like the Abhi story was really funny, and the insight shared by Nitin was also really amazing. So I'm looking forward to have some more insightful and actual real conversation about the markets with you.
So, dude, let's start with something interesting. Look at this photo. It's a loss of what, 20 lakh 48,000. Holy shit, इतना पैसा देखो मैंने जिंदगी में कभी नहीं देखा. Tell me, why did you lose this and how did you feel after this?
So don't remind me about that. So this is about in August 2016. So I recently started learning options. So this was the August expiry, and I had learned the concept that if you sell far OTM options and by 3:15, if the strike is OTM, you whatever premiums you have sold, that's your profit. So I learned this concept that, okay, you can make money by options. Before this, I was only trading hardcore futures. So just at that point of time, I think was around 480, and 500 rupees strike call option was around 1.5. So I sold that call option on leverage. So I had around 2,60,000 quantity. That is around, the lot size was around 800. So that was around 350 lots. And so I realized, okay, like I'm getting around one rupee, so I'll make around 2 lakh rupees if the strike expires worthless. And it was 20 points away. Like Judge was at 480, I had sold 500, so I had ample time, and it was already 2:45. So if the risk is only for 30 minutes, and I'll make this entire money, and like I'll make 2 lakhs, which is a cool ROI in 30 minutes. So at 319, my profit on the screen was around plus 1.6 lakh something.
Okay.
At 320, what I see is minus 20.5 lakhs. So I even wrote an email that I think there's some error. How can I lose so much money? Because Just Dial had not moved. For options to increase, the volatility has to increase. Something has to happen, right? There's no delta. How can I lose so much? There they sent a detailed reply that your quantity was so huge and the options were so illiquid. And at 320 was the square of time. You did not square off, your position was MIS. So we squared off the position, but there was no buyer. So your option got squared off from 0.7 to 11 rupees. And you can see the same thing on the option chart. Then I realized what did I do? Like, this is something which I did not even realize that this is a risk when I was trading options. So after that, like that was a very big setback for me at that point of time. Like this loss was like, because my capital only was around 80 lakhs. So this was a very big loss. Around 20-25% of my capital was gone. And like it was just like initial days of my trading. But I think after that loss, I started taking risk very seriously. I like always leverage it, controlling, always things of the black swan thing. Like, okay, what if this will happen? So I think, but after that, luckily, like, so this was in August 2016. But after that, luckily, like things were in my favor, and like in Just Dial only, like I made decent money, around 78 lakhs in 3 months. So luckily I was able to come out of the setback. But at that point of time, what I realized is, as a trader, it's not the amount of loss you make, but the confidence that goes away. Like next day you're not even able to punch the trade. Like you get a setup, you like, I think this will also won't work in my favor. You take a small quantity, it's going against you, you'll exit. So I think because I have interacted with many institutional traders also, what I've realized is no matter what level you are trading, no matter what strategies you have, skills you have, but if you don't take risk proper, like if you don't manage risk properly during the drawdown, even you think that what am I doing? Like you, for 2 months you do not make money, you will start doubting, am I a good trader? So I think that was a realization that back then that if you want to make money, you cannot make by taking so much leverage, by taking blind risk. You need to have a system, you need to follow it, and you need to make money over a period of time. Like at that point of time, I was like, okay, jaldi paisa aana chahiye. But then I realized it's a big loss, but I think I thank my stars that loss happened in the initial part of my career. If that would have happened after I would have made decent money, then it would have been a bigger setback.
You would have not reached there only, yaar. So I guess you would have. But dude, tell me one thing. If you're a beginner, I don't think you should be trading first off. But if you are, you should find a system. Without a system, though, you should not trade. I think you're way better off investing for the long term than trying to trade if you don't know what a trading system is. Agreed, right, Saurabh? For a new guy, right?
So I would say the beginner coming to futures and options should be the last thing. Like you should first explore the cash market, understand how the market works, because there are so many risks in derivatives. Like stocks can go in ban. If this makes ITM, like your margin can increase. There's illiquidity. There are so many risks that, like while you're trading in books, you won't trade. But when you're in the market, you realize, okay, because in India, like suppose like there are stop loss jumps also, right? You put a stop loss, a big move comes, your stop loss also won't get it. So I think a beginner trader, my advice would be come to futures and options much later. First, try to explore other segments. And once you have detailed understanding about what options are, especially about options, then only enter options and always like manage your risk. Because one thing I've learned is that over these years, anything can happen anytime in the markets. So just to give an example, like it was surgical strike happened, and suddenly on TV, the news came, India declares war on Pakistan. Nifty fell 300 points in 10 minutes. Big short of 30%. It was an expiry day, September expiry. And 30 paise option in Nifty went till 60 rupees in just, I think, minutes.
Crazy, man.
So I think like such events, if you are not prepared, if you're just thinking, okay, I'll just watch the markets, you don't even get time to react.
In summary to what you told me, one, you said discretionary nahi banna hai, learn a system. Two, even if you learn a system, trade with really, really small amounts, stay away from futures and options, stick to equity for first, learn what it is, and then you can think of scaling and all. That's very, very far. Give it at least a year before you even think about it, correct?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Next, one thing, a lot of people on Twitter and stuff, I think SEBI also released a discussion paper, I think it's called, ki timings of the markets may, or was it NSE, I don't know. The timings of the markets may extend. So it may become 8 hours or something like that. So, ये अगर हो गया, मान लो अगर 8-9 hours का market हो गया, will this change your system and everyone else's system? And यार ये तो life ही नहीं रहेगी, मतलब this is not a good thing. What are your thoughts?
तो फर्स्टली अगर ये हो गया तो आई थिंक वाइफ तो घर से ही निकाल देगी. ऑलरेडी हम लोग परेशान है कि लाइक पूरा दिन मार्केट्स में ही लाइक बिकॉज इवन इफ यू आर नॉट ट्रेडिंग लाइक अरे डाउ क्या है SGX क्या यू जस्ट लाइक टू वॉच. सो आई थिंक systems I think will have to be completely redesigned because the regime will change. Because if you see now what we do is that theta decay, like okay, like suppose anyone is trading straddles triangles, right. you account for okay till 9:30 3:30 this much decay is possible historically. But now what will happen is like you have the entire day. So like, till the time you don't trade for enough hours, like
I don't have data, man. Like we don't have, like मान लो कल हो गया, we don't have any data to backtest it, and it has to be a good amount of data, right? हम तो 10 साल पे backtest करते हैं. चलो आप इंट्राडे कर रहे हो, 1 साल तो करोगे यार. वर्स्ट केस उसमें एटलीस्ट 3 साइकिल होने चाहिए. दे शुड बी एन अप साइकिल, डाउन साइकिल, साइडवेज साइकिल. दे शुड बी 1 कोरोना इवेंट. तब तो जाके डेटा थोड़ा sort of skewed नहीं होता है. बट इसमें तो फिर we can't wait 2 years before we can.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. Like it will be very difficult because then I think it will be especially difficult for intraday traders. Like positionally, anyways, okay, if you know this is the range, you still can trade. But for intraday, extrapolating that, okay, when to create a trade, what is the best, like like as per the backtest storing it, because you don't have enough data. So like when we trade now, currently we know that, okay, these are the days favorable for our trades. These are days when the risk to reward is in our favor. But when the markets are going to be extended, which I hope it doesn't happen, it will be very difficult because you don't have enough data. And I think people will also adapt to it. Like algos will also adapt. So I think initial phase will be very volatile, and like we'll have to give some time to that and again redesign our system. So I think it would in fact like disturb the ecosystem if that happens. So I hope that it doesn't happen. But I think if it happens, eventually we'll adapt, but it will take some time to move towards it.
I think there's only one solution. You halve your trading capital and don't change your system and just see what happens for 3 months. I think this is the only way you can do it. But okay, fair enough. Okay, how can you generate ideas for a new system? So, अगर new system बनाना है, like, how do you start? यार हम system इतना बोलते हैं, but where do we start? Ideas कैसे generate करें?
So basically, it's through observation. Yeah, you have read something. So for example, let us take an example. So as I was talking about option selling. So basically, when you are selling options, you look at the theta decay curve. Okay, yeah, options will decay with the passage of time. So एक thing दिमाग में आ गई कि okay, options बेचने हैं. So this is the first thought कि okay, we have to sell options. But is it worth to sell? So like basically you analyze okay, what is the movement for Bank Nifty. So if you analyze for last 15 years, you will see 80% of the time Bank Nifty for the week is within a 5% range, which means for the week it does not move more than 5%, which means 80% of the time if I'm selling options, I'll make money. But if you see those 20% of the time when it moves a lot. So those are the days when you'll have to manage your risk. So then you have established, okay, 80% of my markets are sideways, so it's worth to sell options. Now the question comes is what to sell and when to sell. So then you backtest a lot of systems. So for example, like one system which I did on Learn app also, that whenever the market is opening within yesterday's range, you basically create a strategy. Which means, so whenever the market is opening within yesterday's range, as per the backtest I've seen is that mostly that day is a sideways day. Like which means the daily range for that day is between -1 to +1%.
Right.
So which means on those days you can create strategy. So what I'll do is whatever data I have, I'll backtest that, okay, if the market is opening within yesterday's range, and if I'm selling both call and put, am I making money? So basically, first is an idea. After idea, next comes this entry logic. What will trigger your entry? So for in this case, when the market is opening within yesterday's range, this will trigger my entry. What will be my stop loss? So you do different variations. Okay, if the premiums increase by 10%, I'll exit. If the premium increase by 20%, I'll exit. How much quantity you will buy? So depending on your stop loss, you will get your quantity. So once you do this, you will get a series of trades which have met this condition in past 5 years, 10 years. And from that sample space, you understand whether you have made money or no. So this is then after, like, once you get that Excel that, okay, these are the trades, you analyze more. What if I only trade on Wednesday? What if I only trade on Thursdays? So you get other insights, and then how you improvise your system. Okay, these are the conditions which are favorable for my trading style. These are the conditions I want to trade, and accordingly you build your system.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I'd also like to add, like, dude, if you've never traded in general, right, like you shouldn't start with options. Like I think it's a really bad place to begin. It is super risky. You will lose. अगर आपको सुन के डर लग रहा है, then just I don't think anyone should do options unless they really understand it. I think a lot of people jump into options too easily. I feel, don't you think, Saurabh? Like, हाँ कर लेते हैं. Like you're saying selling करना चाहिए. Like I understand the logic, but dude, I think for new traders, the equity is what they should start with, understand it, and then maybe think of, I think Saurabh and I have spoken about this multiple times. I think for 99.9% of Janta, options is not for you. Is what I genuinely feel it should be, and you can do a lot in equity. And उसके बाद भी आपको लगता है कि okay, I can go deeper, then maybe options is something that you could do. यार ये चार्ट जरा स्क्रीन पे लगा है, क्या मस्त चार्ट है. दिस इज बजट डे का कैंडल, ठीक है. इसमें तुम कुछ भी स्ट्रैटेजी लगाते, something you would have gotten screwed, bro. I mean, from a trading perspective. Very interesting, right? You remember this? I'm looking at the chart right now. It's upar niche. It started with the gap up, red bar. It's crazy, man. Oh my God. But it's 6% still down. So the question is, when there is an event like this, right? Ek to VIX goes up because there's an expectation of event, right? So ek to wo ho raha hai. And then you have these events, and then multiple events. Everyone knows these events in advance. Do you trade on event days, आर दे अपॉर्चुनिटी डेज कि यार इस दिन ना मार्केट दोनों साइड भी जा सकता है, तो मैं ये स्ट्रैटेजी करूं, कि उस दिन आप कहते हैं डूड एफ इट, मैंने करना ही नहीं है, आई एम नॉट ट्रेडिंग टुडे, आज छुट्टी.
So see, as I said, as an option seller, so as you said, before the event, the volatility increases, which means people are expecting something will happen in the event. But most of the time, nothing happens. So what happens is, as soon as the announcement of the event is done, the premiums drop. So I try to take advantage of that, and after the event, it's all gambling. So I think what you have to do is before the event, and this is specifically for events which are during market hours. So you do not trade earnings which are like after market hours, because even stocks like Wipro and all have gapped up 10%. So only events which are during market hours. So basically RBI policy, budget. Okay. So if you know the event is about to happen, I have done a like detailed backtest also for this. If you try to take the trade, like our event is done, after the event the moves will be completely random. So on this budget, I remember I was in the studio, everyone was expecting that, okay, now there will be a very big breakout, because Nifty had approached 18,000. But from 18,000 and Bank Nifty from 42,000 went till 39,500. I remember 10 rupees option went till 600 rupees put side. So I think you trade the event, and if you're a beginner trader, I would say just watch, just observe the volatility, what is happening. So I think if you have decent experience over options, if you understand volatility, I would say you can sell options on the day before the event, and as soon as you get decay, you exit. But after the event is completely random and it's very difficult to trade, so you need some more skills to trade after the event. So basically the risk is there, but the reward is also high. But as I said, most of the times you will always be caught on the wrong side.
Did कुछ और बात करते हैं. आजकल a lot of people are seeing these trading bots, okay? And I've also been stuck on them. I've tried to understand them, but a long time back, not now. So generally for a retail trader, okay, ऐसा मुझे specific answer देना, ऐसा नहीं बोलना it's different for everyone, ऐसा नहीं बोलना मुझे, सच्ची answer. तो these trading bots, are they good or are they bad for a retail trader?
Like if you ask me, I think it's not good, because if you subscribe to a trading bot, you are not the only person who is subscribed to it. So everyone is subscribed to the same strategy. The amount of AUM that is deployed to that strategy. So like the most popular strategy currently on FinTwit is 920 strategy. So the amount of money that is deployed, you cannot even imagine. Thousands of crores is deployed only on this strategy.
Damn, man.
So if any time, suppose like a big movement comes, everyone will rush to cover the positions, and due to the domino effect, you will be caught in it. And it has started to happen. If you see last few months, it is happening. And like if you see, you get even 100-point slippages on options at open, like when the market is moving. So I would say for a beginner trader, like it's better to develop their own sense of understanding about the market rather than subscribe to some bot, because you don't know what is happening. It's a black box. You subscribe to it, whatever it's telling you, you exit, you enter, but you're not understanding what is actually happening. So my advice would be try to understand the options. And one thing which I would like to add is, see, when I started trading, I wanted to be master of everything. I wanted to trade Bank Nifty, I wanted to trade Nifty, I wanted to trade Just Dial. Every stock I wanted to trade, it was moving. But later you realize, so what happens is, suppose, I'll give you an example. Suppose I'm trading Nifty, I'm trading Bank Nifty, I'm trading Just Dial. Everything, when the markets are fine, it's okay. There's no problem. But suppose when the market's correct, what happens is, it's not Nifty will correct. Everything will correct in tandem. And what you see is, you don't understand from where the loss is coming. So the loss will increase. So first, then you have to apply your brains. Okay, now let me manage my Nifty position. Then you have to again apply, let me manage my Bank Nifty. Let me manage my Just Dial position. So it gets very difficult, and I have done this multiple times, and then I realized it's better to focus on one instrument. Try to understand the daily price pattern, how it moves. So over a period of time, you are understanding what instrument will improve. And basically, see, as a trader, you just need one instrument and one or two patterns to make consistent money. So since Bank Nifty weeklies have started since May 2016, I've only focused on Bank Nifty. So a day in and day out. So since then till now, there's not a single day I have not watched Bank Nifty, no matter wherever I am in the world. So basically, then you develop a sense of understanding. Okay, this is how the instrument moves. This is what the volatility is. And so rather than trading everything, you try to focus on one instrument. And this is advice I would like to give to every beginner trader. Select, it could be Nifty, Bank Nifty, any liquid instrument you can select. Try to observe the patterns and try to understand how the instrument is moving. So over the years, your understanding will improve, and your trading, it will reflect in your trading.
So that was a user question. I have another user question, but I have to read it because it looks damn complicated. Okay, are you ready for this question? So I trade a system wherein the hit ratio is 45%, average profit, average loss is 1.75. Trades are 2 to 3 a month, but there are 2 back-to-back losses at times, even up to 7 losses in a row. Okay. This particular difficulty stops me from increasing my trading quantity, even when overall my system and capital is positive. Can you suggest a solution?
So my solution for him would be, see, as I said, like after talking to so many traders, what I've realized is, see, every month there's an uncle point to, like what an uncle point is, like suppose an uncle comes to you and he like pinches you on the ear, right? After there will be a point you say, uncle, bus.
10th में marks कितने आए? नचा नहीं. क्या बोल रहा uncle?
So basically, everyone will have that threshold कि okay, इसके बाद मुझे loss नहीं देखना है. So basically, so in this case, what he can do is basically he can decide कि drawdown कितना he is comfortable with. Like suppose someone would be comfortable with a 5% drawdown, someone would be comfortable with a 10% drawdown, and drawdown is directly proportional to the position sizing. For example, on 2 lakh, you are generally doing 1 dot Nifty, 1 dot Bank Nifty. So you can increase that, okay, on 4 lakh, I do 1 dot. So automatically in this system only, like even if you're facing back-to-back 7 losses, your drawdown will drastically reduce. And what I do is, if you are making money, suppose your capital grows from 10 lakhs to 12 lakhs, you will increase your size. If it grows from again 10 to 9 lakhs, you will reduce your size. So when you're winning, you're aggressive. When you're losing, you're defensive. And that is what is very effective as a trader, because when you're not making money, there's no point being aggressive when the markets are against you. And when you're making money, because if you see as a trader, we make money in sports, right? It's not that every month we make 3%, 2%. Then in months we make good money. Then in few months we do not make money. Then in few months we lose money. But so when you're making money, you need to make sure that you take care of the losing months also. So that's why what people generally have in mind that, okay, I have a trading target, 3%, 2% per month. But I think that does not work that way, because if you're making 2%, you're stopping trading. But if the markets were kind, they would have given you 10%. And when you lose, you definitely lose 2-3%. So I think this is a notion which needs to change, that when the markets are kind, there's no limit how much you can make. So I would say that for him, like it basically comes to position sizing and how much drawdown is comfortable. So if the system has a positive expectancy, he's making money. But what is troubling is that 7 back-to-back losses is basically accumulating to a bigger number for him. So I think if he takes care of the position sizing, that number will also reduce.
I think what's interesting, right? I think there are 2 variables over here. One is 7 losses in a row. So it sounds like consecutive losses is damaging his ability a lot. And I think the other is कि महीने में 2 ही 3 ही ट्रेड है. मतलब जब ये 7 losses back to back आते हैं, it's a 2 to 3 months period जहाँ पे loss हो रहा है and he's sitting there doubting, शायद मुझे ये नहीं करना चाहिए. So I think that's one problem over here. And you rightly said this very well. I don't think, dude, I think you should get a day job. It'll keep you busy. And if there are 2 months where you've not earned anything, I think it'll really help. And like Sourabh said, if you reduce your exposure, then those 7 losses ka quantity will also not affect your mind too much. So very nice, man. That was very, very good advice, Sourabh. I really enjoyed this. And if you guys like this, please leave a comment niche. Love this. Thank you so much, Sourabh. I hope to see you in another episode.
Thank you, Prateek. It was a pleasure speaking to you, and I really enjoyed our conversation.
Bye-bye.